I want to make a cool intro, but let me show you this. I'm not really in a state to make a cool like falling down intro, so here we are. I finished this book a week ago and I'm still a mess. It just wrecks me and I just needed to talk about it. This video will be completely spoiler free. I don't want to spoil anything, especially since this book is so unique. It has to be read without knowing anything about it. So here we go. Maybe before making a YouTube video, I should learn how to say the author's name. Erin Morgenstern?
Editing Ava coming in just to say that I've learned how to say this author's name, which is Erin Morgenstern. I don't know why I struggle so much with it, but yeah.
I read the last 150 pages of this book in one sitting, and when I finished, I honestly had no idea what time it was, how much time had gone by, where I was in time and space. I felt like I just came out of another world, as if I came out of a dream. It was absolutely such a unique experience that I never ever had with any other book. One of the last sentences of this book, which is no spoiler by the way, perfectly sums up what reading this book is like, and I just want to quote it to you. You think as you walk away from le cirque des rêves and into the creeping dawn that you felt more awake within the confines of the circus. You are no longer quite certain which side of the fence is the dream. This is exactly how I felt when I emerged from reading it. It could have been 3 a.m. the next day. I honestly wouldn't have been surprised so much that I felt transported and coming back from another world, truly coming back from a journey. I just lost track of time. I got ready for bed as it was kind of late, and I felt in such a daze, like a part of me was still in the circus while a part of me was back to reality. The book summary is very short and doesn't tell you much about the book at all. It just tells you about the circus, which doesn't tell you anything about the characters or the plot, and I actually really like that. I didn't want to know anything about this book, and I think that's how you enjoy it even more without having any expectation, just diving into it very simply. I actually read this book because A Clockwork Reader, which is someone I really enjoy in the booktube community, said it was her favorite book and she talked very highly of it, and I wasn't disappointed. I really liked her recommendations and I'm just so happy I read it. But I still gotta talk about the damn book, so I'm still gonna give you a very short, very succinct summary that doesn't tell you anything, just really basic information so you can enjoy it fully. The Night Circus, or the Cirque des Rêves, is about a black and white circus that appears unannounced at dawn and opens at sunset and then disappears again. Inside the circus, you will experience a whole other world of magic, game, and mystery, and that's all I'm going to tell you about this book, because you need to read it to experience it. I am realizing just now how hard it is to review this book. Even describing it is so hard, as I've never read anything like this book. It's truly, seriously unique. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this word, but can't find any other vocabulary to describe how different this book is. The author created this world that feels out of time and space as we follow these characters through the years, and you just dive fully into it like I've never experienced before. It's definitely an unconventional book, that's for sure. Maybe it's because I'm so used to reading YA books that this really took me by surprise, but even so, for its own genre, I feel like it's really one of a kind of book. I really loved reading it. It is not the kind of book you devour, at least in my opinion. It's the kind of book you should savor and just take in every page of it and just truly enjoy and savor. And that's what I really did. I took my time to read it and just to take in all the magic of it all. I think I took about 2 weeks to read it, but I just really wanted to truly just take my time to experience this really unique book, because once you read it once, you just can't read it for the first time again, and I think reading this book for the first time truly is such an interesting and incredible experience that I wanted to enjoy it fully. This book is out of this world would be one way to describe it, and I think it kind of fits. I don't know any book that would be similar to it. If there is, please let me know, because I really enjoyed this kind of unique world. Will I reread it? In a few years, probably. It was such an interesting experience to read it, and it's definitely going to have a special spot on my shelf, and I'm sure I'm going to pick it up in a few years once the story has faded from my memory a bit. One thing for sure is I'm definitely recommending it to all of my friends, telling them how good this book is and how much they should read it. I'm still glad that I read it during my sabbatical year when I had a lot of time, also being 20 years old, because I felt like I could enjoy this book much more than I might have during my reading years when I was still a teen, when I was, 13, 14. I feel like I might have not enjoyed this book as much as I did right now, but I still feel like this book fits like all ages. Like I really think my mother could really enjoy this book, even though it might not be her type and, read from different generations. I think this book really is very versatile, if that's the good word to describe it. I also really like reading this book in the quiet of my room or outside in the garden in a very quiet, peaceful setting. I think it allowed me to immerse myself more into the story, not being in a train and like always having to drop the book, only reading a couple of pages before having to run somewhere. I think I got to experience the book even better in such a peaceful setting. All in all, I don't really want to spoil anything, so I feel like this review is quite vague and bad and just me using the same words again and again, because there's really only a few words I feel to describe such a weird and interesting book. So I'm sorry about this kind of half-assed review. I feel like this just really isn't a way to talk about the characters and the good of the bad of the book and the plot in general, because it's just such a unique book that you need to experience for yourself. And I just don't know how to honestly properly review this book. Am I failing as a booktuber? The plot is constructed in such a way that you just can't dissect it and say, oh, the good, the bad. It's just, this book is very neutral in a way. Like, it's not one of my favorite book ever, definitely not. But it's just such a good book that you just have nothing to say about it because you can't take anything from it. It's just, everything falls into place exactly as it should, and there's no questioning it. So, do I recommend this book? Absolutely! I really do. I feel like it's really well suited for young adults, even though it's not in the YA sense of it, but I feel like teenagers can really enjoy it as much as, more mature adults. It's a really, really good book. It's a book of magic and hope and love, and I truly enjoyed it, and I will always have a lot of tenderness for it, and it will definitely have a privileged space on my shelf. Well, once I have a shelf. But I really loved it. I hope you enjoyed this small and very random review and that you could take something from it, that maybe I made you want to read it, or maybe you read it and you have better ways of talking about this book than I did in this video. Anyway, I'm off to reread all the Harry Potters. I just finished rereading the first one. I'm rereading them at the same time as my best friend. It's my third time reading them, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a video about it, but then I don't have any other books to talk about, so I don't know what kind of content I'm gonna bring you. But I have a couple of ideas, so we'll see what I come up with in the next few months while I reread the whole Harry Potter saga, written by Daniel Radcliffe, because J.K. Rowling. But I have a couple of ideas of content I'm gonna make, so, tune in to see what that's gonna be, if you want to. Maybe I'll jump on the train of the ranking videos, even though I'm months late. I don't know. We'll see. I really have a few nice ideas of what I want to do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this book review. Have a very nice day wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!